Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. I bet it's really cold outside wherever you are. So I think it's a good way how to spend your afternoon with a cup of tea or coffee, listening about great opportunities that you could pursue in your future. My name is Paula, and I will be this afternoon together with you, as will be Claudio.
Yep. Hello, everyone. And nice to see that you are interested in our opportunities, in the opportunities that we are offering to you. And I will start then with a little bit a short presentation about Riga Business School and how the dual degree programs with BI really fit in our portfolio. As you know, Riga Business School has been during 30 years developing programs that are internationally recognized. Our mission, our vision is to bring the best international education to Latvia, and that we can offer it to Latvian students and to non-Latvian students that would like to stay in the Baltic region. And what we do basically is always we look for the best education we can find, the best courses, the best faculty members, the up-to-date content, and we try to bring it here. So we are education innovators. We are part of the Riga Technical University, that is the oldest university in Latvia. So it's we have a very strong institutional setting to do quite a lot of very nice things. Okay, we can move. So in general, we offer for undergraduate programs 2 bachelor programs. One is a Bachelor of Business Administration that has been, we have been running it since 2012. We have more than 500 graduates. It's a very traditional BBA program with focus on international business, finance, entrepreneurship, marketing. And then we do have, for 2 years now, the Bachelor of IT and Leadership, with also a specialization on business analytics. So when you look at the spectrum between quantitative skills, qualitative skills, the BBA program, of course, offer a lot of quantitative subjects. You have mathematics, you have accounting, you have some programming, you have finance, but there is a stronger focus on understanding what an organization is, the psychology of the organization, psychology of the people, consumer psychology. So you go more into the soft side, in a way, of business. Then when you go more into Baltic IT leadership, that is the other programs, you move into the quantitative side of the scale. So you have much more programming. So you have a lot of programming languages. You go into what we call low-level hardware subjects as well. So the idea of the Bachelor of Business Administration is to understand how to lead organizations, how to lead projects, how to lead people, how to make things happen in organizations. The Baltic IT leadership is to understand technology and to have the capacity to lead projects in technology. Both are extremely great programs. So one is more based on which are the decisions that you need to take, is more human-centric. The other is more on the analysis toward the decisions, and is more big data-centric. So yesterday, for instance, I met a German company. What they do is they produce water pumps with solar panel, and when they produce the pumps and they sell the whole thing with the console to monitor every well where they have the water in every farm in the world. So they need both. So they need people that are coming from the BPA program that can write the business plan, that can make the financial statement of the organization, that can pitch to investors, that can discuss with the banks about the different possibility of financing, that can make projects happening. But they also need the Baltic IT leadership graduates that actually can understand which is the software, the layers of the different software that they need, the different technology layers, the different solution in the technology they need in order to actually make the business happen and produce a solution. So we are very unique in the region because we help you, we educate our graduates to be very much business and society oriented and to understand technology, how you can make technology really become a reality on that. Can we go to the next one? So why RBS BI? So from the very early when we started the bachelor program, we identified BI Norwegian Business School as a great partner to be. So they are the best business school in Norway. They have the 3 accreditation. Matthew is gonna, from BI, is gonna speak about that. So they also is a great city. Norwegian investments are extremely significant in Latvia and in the Baltic region. So you want to have the possibility to be a graduate and alumnus of the best business school in Norway. And they have a lot of experience, more than 50 years in education. So it's one of the top 1% business schools in the world. So this gives the chance to our students to to go and study there, have a different experience, B, to have a diploma that actually could have, together with the RBS degree, they can have the BI degree. For those that will come to study in the Baltic IT Leadership program, so you will have also a possibility to get the University of Latvian degree. So you can have the Riga Riga Business School degree, the Latvian University degree, and the BI Norwegian Business School degree. So these are degrees, so these are not exchange programs. And this is a huge significance. So we exchange programs, Erasmus that our students also have the opportunities to do. You go to another country, to a good university, you get few courses, but you don't get the degree from that university. So you can, so you basically come back, and then we accept those credit points. This is an exchange. So if you get a good, and our students go to France and to Japan and to Spain and they can go to other countries as well, and to the Netherlands and to Belgium, but these are exchange programs. A dual degree program is much stronger. So you become part of the community of that university. You are one of their graduates, so you are an alumnus. So you have access to career services and to other services that those universities offer. We offer dual degree program from UB, University at Buffalo, and from BI Norwegian Business School, and this is very unique in the region. There is another issue that probably many people don't see. When you have a dual degree program, the quality of what you get here in Real Business School has one more quality assurance, because we need to prepare you to go there and succeed in BI. So that means that we actually work with BI colleagues, and also with the University of New York colleagues, that our programs are at their level. So you have 2 options when you come to Riga Business School for the dual degree. You can come to the Bachelor of Business Administration and move forward to BI, and where we have already more than almost 30 students that have done that. So that you go to BI, and then you complete your Bachelor of Business Administration with more emphasis in finance or international business or in shipping. That is quite unique. You complete in some more programming courses. You can do the BBA program, you complete more programming courses, and then you go to BI to complete the Bachelor of Business Analytics. Now, the other option, you can study with us the Baltic IT Leadership program, and then you go to BI in the 4th year to also complete the Business Analytics. So depending which of these 2 programs you study, whether you study Bachelor of Business Administration or you study the Baltic IT Leadership program, you either go on the 3rd year or you go into the 4th year. Probably Paula will explain more of these details as we go. And with that, I am not Dana. You see a name there, Dana Spiskus, that is our assistant director for the Bachelor program, and she will be more than ready to answer your questions Eventually, you can find me anyway in many social networks. So if you have questions as well, so you're welcome to approach me. Paula?
Yes, thank you, Claudio. And actually today we will focus a little bit more on the experiences of people who have been in BI or who are in BI at the moment. So if you have any specific questions about these things that Claudio were mentioning, feel free to ask them in the chat in Facebook, and then we will answer them, and we can answer them from the administration perspective, and we will have students who can answer those questions from their experience. So don't be shy and ask your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them. But now I would like to invite our first experience story from Roland England. He graduated BI quite some time ago. Probably, Roland, you will be able to specify yourself when was it. He has stayed in Norway. I hope I didn't give away some secret of your story, Roland, but yeah, I would like to invite you to share your experience because you have had some time to reflect on it. So the Zoom is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. Claudia, can you guys hear me?
Yes, everything's fine.
Yeah. Nice to see you. Yeah, hi from Oslo. You did give away the biggest secret. I'm still here in Norway. No, it's not a secret, but yeah, I'm really happy to give some comments, and please ask questions in chat or after my talk. But yeah, to start with, when was it I graduated? I remember that I did move to Norway now 5.5 years ago. It was in August, and that was end of my second year of bachelor's. So a half year before that, around December time, I was facing a decision that I was not planning before at all. And the decision was whether to apply to the double degree program or not, and go to Norway, be a Norwegian business school for the third year. And yeah, I can talk about, first of all, how it a bit personally influenced my life, and also academically, and professionally. But personally, before that decision came up, or that option in my head, I didn't really plan to go at all. I went to RBS to get the business education and entrepreneurial knowledge to join the family business afterwards and stay in Riga, and that was my whole goal. But then I allowed myself to think a bit outside of the box and open up to this opportunity, really cool opportunity that RBS gives us. And then I thought, okay, I'm just gonna try it out. It's only 9 months, right? You can't do any harm. And it seemed very since I didn't have any plans to move abroad for short or long time, it seemed a bit scary, but it paid off, because in the first semester during that year, I realized that it was so cool to live in another culture and study with like 100 nationalities that we have at BI, I think. The BI campus, it's really big. It gives space to around 12,000 students between various faculties. So yeah, I really call that the best decision of my life, because afterwards I started applying for internships, and I became active in the student union, which was really cool. I became the president of the biggest association at BI during my master's, which, yeah, I didn't mention that I applied for master's as well during my second semester at BI, because I realized that 9 months abroad was not enough, and I felt that the culture and the experience that Norway was providing me was just something I wanted to live through a bit more. Just to put a few words on the complementarity of the education, I think the combination of having the 2 years at RBS and then the 1 year at BI in terms of bachelor's, that was a super good combination, because at RBS we have a lot of grading and sort of evaluation based on your participation, and that gives you one type of experience at RBS. Then when you're very active, you work in a lot of group works and interact a lot with your peers And then at BI, there was this whole different setup where exams weigh quite a lot, and the theoretical capacity you need to utilize there, and utilize the school's research faculty and everyone. It just changes a bit the way you have to work. And also the experience I got from RBS in terms of our knowledge and more technical education, like for example working in simple things like PowerPoint and Excel. That was really super good level at back in RBS. And then at BI, I felt like it was complemented with more theoretical knowledge. So both universities work really well together. Yeah, but now I'm here in Oslo 5 years later. I've studied Master of Science in business major in strategy, and decided to apply for jobs and started working in 2.5 years ago in Danske Bank here in Norway. It was a challenge doing that, applying for jobs without that much of knowledge in Norwegian, but I wanted to be a bit ambitious and try out. And in the beginning, it was a bit challenging, but once you also, there's so many international companies here, and once you're not scared and you just show that you want to learn and want to integrate, if that's the plan to be here, then people are super welcome and they don't care about it that much. So I feel like Oslo is a great place to spend at least the 9 months and potentially even more time. And yeah, feel super welcome here, and really encourage people to apply.
Thank you, Roland.
Thank you.
Maybe you can share the greatest memory you have from your first year when you did the Bachelor double degree studies at BI.
That's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind, to be honest, it's connected both to the culturally strongest characteristic for Norwegians, and also to a big part of BI, and that is, as Norwegians call it, friluftsliv, and that means being outside a lot. So at BI, I remember we had this, and probably still have this group, like people organize in societies, and we have this outdoor society which organizes really big and impressive trips to the mountains and to cliffs. So I remember as a first year or a third year student, but as a newbie at BI, I applied there and decided to go on one of these trips, and that was really breathtaking. We were around 40-50 international students living in tents for 2-3 days, and hiking to one of the most breathtaking mountains there is in Norway. And yeah, that whole experience that you're doing this like through your educational facility, through uni, and get to experience Norway at its most, and that's a really big, really important thing for Norwegians to enjoy the outdoors. So I really remember that one. Another thing I would like to mention, actually, to build up on what Claudio mentioned. I think Claudio mentioned something about the connection both in RBS and BI to the industry and to companies. And both in RBS and at BI, I did get a really good experience with that. In RBS, we had these networking dinners, I recall, with industry leaders. And at BI, on the other hand, there was this career week. And I was really impressed by that. And as the biggest university in Norway, it was on a really large scale. So it was around, I don't know, 50 or 70 companies being in the university premises for a whole week, and allowing you to network with them, to introduce yourself to them, and names of companies that I had never thought about applying for internships or getting experience from. And that also was one of the reasons that really got me inspired to apply for internships, and also landed me on one of my first internships.
Fantastic. Roland, what do you do now?
What do I do now? Yes, now I'm, so I started in Danske Bank 2.5 years ago. I started as a graduate. The position was actually called a graduate. They have It's quite popular in big organizations here in the Nordics with trainee/graduate programs. So I spent 18 months rotating through 3 different departments in the bank in 2 different countries. So first I worked with local business development for 6 months in Norway. Then I moved to Copenhagen, lived there, and worked on group strategy, which was very intense and very interesting. And then in my 3rd rotation, I worked in equity research, so a more finance-heavy position. And afterwards, I started a full-time job in Danske Bank as a consultant in strategy execution and business risk. So that's where I'm currently at, and it's definitely relevant for what I've been studying both in RBS and RBI.
I'm not sure if we have much more time.
We have some time. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, you have some 18, 17 years old, probably 16 years old, listening to you now that probably have never heard what does it, I mean, strategy, the word strategy, that sounds big. Probably, I don't know if you remember those times when you were younger. So, but so how do you explain what do you do in a daily basis? I mean, what does it mean to be a consultant in strategy for such a big corporation?
Well, it means for starters, I could start with the not downsides, but it means a lot of bureaucracy in terms of in huge organizations. There's so many people and so many processes you need to get a hold of and collaborate with that sometimes things can take longer than planned. But you have to work with a lot of different people across a lot of different practices. But essentially, in consultant strategy, it's we need to execute business plans that have been set by the top management of the company. So how to get from A with the scarce resources that we have to Z. And there's these plans and strategies that have been made for 2-3 years. And we have to make sure that we meet the goals towards shareholders, the investors, the society, which is a really huge part of working in any company really, but also in banking. And since the sustainability goals and reducing carbon emissions is a huge goal globally. And also employees is the 3rd large stakeholder group that we need to meet expectations of and make sure that, in Danske Bank, that 22,000 employees are being well taken care of. And 22,000, that's across the Nordics. So it's a huge organization to work with.
So the impact of something like this is huge.
Yeah. Maybe the last question to you. Claudio said that, we don't know if you remember how it was before you knew some of the things that you were talking about, but I also really liked how you reflected that this wasn't going to BI, wasn't something that you were really planning on. It was, maybe it sounded like it was a little bit spontaneous, but then imagine that you're now thinking about what you want to do during the university. You're maybe still deciding where to go, and this is one of the options that you're considering, being in 12th grade, coming to RBS and then doing 1 year in BI, but there are some doubts. So what would you say to people who are doubtful about this opportunity?
I would say that when you make a decision, like when you make a decision to go to RBS, for example, you don't need to decide like the 5-6 years ahead at that moment. It's going to be, for me, it was a snowball effect. Like when I joined RBS, I joined honestly because I just wanted to work with my family's company and I didn't have a big plan ahead. And I felt a bit scary. I had friends who wanted to be doctors or wanted to be professionals in another specific area. I didn't have that. But then all these decisions were like a snowball that was getting bigger and bigger. After being a bit at RBS, I understood that a bit spontaneously that living abroad for a bit, that's an opportunity that might be cool to take upon. So I didn't have to decide it just immediately, but took it then. And then while I was here, I also came to new conclusions and got to learn more about myself. And so I don't know when or what is going to happen like in the next 1, 2, 3 years. and that's kind of exciting as well. So I would suggest, as cliche as it sounds, to go with your gut and don't unless you really know a specific passion, right, that you have within a specific field. It's fine to be a bit unsure and go with your gut and then see where it will take you, because as long as you will put in the effort and be curious, it will take you to good places.
Thank you. This sounds
Fantastic.
like a wonderful quote. As long as you're curious and put in the effort, you will go to wonderful places. That might be one of your first quotes that will you can use it
As an influencer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roland. It was a pleasure.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys. Bye.
So as a next one, I would like to invite Matthew from BI, and he will tell you more about some specific things that BI can offer to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Paula and Claudio. I'll just share my screen here. But while I'm doing that, I'll just say that I'm part of the international marketing and recruitment team here at BI. I'm originally from Canada, but I have studied internationally in Sweden. So I have a little bit of experience deciding to take my studies to another country and see where that takes me. So we're talking about studying a double degree in Norway. And it's a really cool that we have the perspective of the students who have completed the program as well, because now you'll kind of get the perspective from the institutional side about what you can expect from our perspective when you're coming to study your double degree here at BI. So why a double degree at BI? This is kind of applicable to a lot of double degrees out there, but specifically here in Norway, the perspective changes when you come here to Norway to do a double degree. Norwegians are known for having different perspectives on sustainability, on work-life balance. So by doing a double degree, you're kind of increasing the opportunity to gain more perspectives through your studies, but then also through society and culture, which is the second reason why to study a double degree. You're exposing yourself to different cultures that you may not have the chance to experience or get to know. Oslo is a very international city because it is the capital city of Norway, and it has so many large headquarters, large organizations headquarters here in the Nordics. You're kind of getting a lot of international people coming from all over the world to live in Oslo. But then also, as Roland's mentioned earlier, we have a huge, about 100 different nationalities studying at BI at any given moment. So you're exposing yourself to that culture as well from other students. Networking is a big one as well. You're growing your professional network and you're also growing your personal network. We have seen students, international students, they come to BI and they end up going somewhere else. And we'll hear about that maybe later on in this webinar about students who have taken a different path and maybe gone to a different country that they didn't expect at the start of their studies. So you're getting that opportunity to kind of grow your network professionally and personally, because you never know down the road, whether it be 5, 10, 15 years, what the connections you make while you're at school can do for you. So it's always important to keep that in mind when you're thinking about studying a double degree. The opportunities kind of expand when you take your studies to another destination. So by completing a double degree and having the first couple of years in Latvia and then coming here to Norway, you're just opening up more opportunities to yourself, whether it be working or whether it be studying. In the case of Roland's, he decided to stay in Norway and do some more education, which actually snowballed into a career for himself in Norway. And so he may not have had that opportunity had he not decided to do a double degree. So it's just another reason to kind of consider a double degree, is that these opportunities you may not see right now, they are out there, and you just increase the chances of more opportunity as you kind of get out there internationally. Knowledge is another one. Claudio mentioned this when he was speaking earlier about the fact that you're learning a different method and learning different skills in Latvia at Riga Business School, but then you come here to Norway and you're learning a different skills and knowledge studying in the Norwegian context. So by actually increasing the amount of knowledge you're able to take in, and it actually makes it a little bit different knowledge as well, that is always just a benefit moving forward for yourself. And we've seen from international students that they really appreciate, especially the double degree students from a couple of our double degree options. They do speak about the fact that the knowledge and the learning and the teaching is a little bit different. So you're getting a little bit of a good mix of theoretical and practical in both of the degree programs. And then finally, probably one of the more important ones for people who are very career centric is it gives you a competitive advantage. When you think of the business world and the business industry, businesses and organizations are looking for people with international experience. They want that context in their organization because they're operating in an international globalized world. So by having these people in the organization and having the ability to choose people that have already started to develop this international skill set, that is a competitive advantage when you do decide to get out into the working world and start sending your resumes into fields that you really want to pursue. So it's a very important thing to understand, is that studying a double degree gives you a competitive advantage, not just with the fact you're getting 2 degrees from 2 different countries and 2 different institutions, but you're also gaining that international perspective that a lot of people out there will not have. So that gives you a step ahead when your resume is on the file and you're in the human resources, their hands, and they're looking at it and they see that you have that international experience. So it is a competitive advantage. Now, we have to talk about why you would come to Norway. Now, I mentioned sustainability and work-life balance as kind of Norwegian, I won't say mottos or mantras, but it is something that Norwegians do live by. And you do see it throughout the society and the culture and the workplace and the study world as well. The students that will speak later on in this webinar can have a more authentic approach to it from their perspective. But we do say that in Norway, you do have a good work-life balance, and that relates to study life balance as well. Students on Friday at 3 o'clock, they clock out and they go and they spend time in the outdoors, kind of what Roland was mentioning earlier on. They do get outside and do take advantage of the fact that society has put so much importance on having a good work-life / study life balance. So you do reap the benefit of that. And personally for me, I decided to move to Scandinavia because work-life balance was such an important thing for me, and it has already paid off for me. I now work about 32.5 hours a week, whereas in Canada, where I'm originally from, I was upwards of 45 to 50. So I've already seen an increase in spending time for my hobbies, my family, and my friends. So it's a really big plus for me, and you get exposed to that by studying here in Norway. Another thing that we need to mention is the high English comprehension. There is no language barrier in terms of getting around and living your day-to-day life. You can go to the supermarket, you can go to the stores, and only knowing English, you will be able to live a perfectly normal life. There is no barrier when it comes to the language. And actually, Norwegians do speak English extremely well, and they are happy to speak English with you. So it is not an uncomfortable situation where you feel that you are kind of imposing by not speaking Norwegian. And the last thing I will touch on here is this thing called the Scandinavian leadership model. And it is, what that means is that it's about empowering the employees here in Norway to make decisions together. Everybody is allowed to kind of have a say and an opinion. And so that is a different perspective of how to lead and manage employees than maybe somewhere else in the world. So by coming to study in Norway, you are being exposed to kind of that Scandinavian leadership model where people across different departments are able to communicate. Now, I know that Roland's mentioned earlier the bureaucracy associated with large organizations. So that is something that the Scandinavian leadership model is trying and working towards fixing and making better. So by maybe empowering employees for self-motivation to get things done, that is a way to kind of solve some of these bureaucratic problems that we are seeing across the world when it comes to large organizations. So you've thought about why a double degree, you've thought, okay, Norway, that matches up with me. So, but why BI Norwegian Business School? As it was mentioned by Claudio, we are the #1 business school in Norway. That was actually just confirmed the other day. We received word that we can again claim that we're the #1 business school here in Norway. So if you are looking to study business and it is Norway, come to the #1 business school here in Norway. Another reason is the Triple Crown accreditation, and that's the top 1% of business schools worldwide have these accreditations. And these accreditations for you, they mean that the curriculum and the programming has been evaluated, reviewed, and it's relevant and applicable to the industries that you are learning about. So when you get out and graduate, the skills that you have learned, they're relevant in the workforce. And that's what the Triple Crown accreditation works towards. So it's meaning that the students have the opportunity to learn in-demand and topical skills that are actually being used right now, because they do have to be reviewed and assessed every few years in order to keep your Triple Crown accreditation. And then finally, we are tuition-based, but we are affordable. And with the Triple Crown accreditation, we're an affordable quality business education. It's just kind of a thing to know that when you want to study in English, there is an affordable option out there that is a quality option as well. So here are some of the programs that you can transfer into for your double degree. The first one is the Business Administration. And in that one, you choose a specialization to specialize in. So whether that be shipping management, finance, or international business, you have to choose one of those three. And then the next one, it used to be called Business Analytics, but now it has a brand new name and it's called Data Science for Business. And that was changed because we found that from speaking with the industry, we found that they needed more people to have a little bit more data science skill sets. So that now has been changed to data science, but it also gives the students coming out having that degree on their resume. We found now through research that it actually is getting people hired more so than the business analytics title. So the data science one is kind of giving people an advantage when it comes to their degree. Now this slide kind of just compares a little bit between the two programs. When you're looking at the data science for business, that one's all about programming, statistics, data visualization. So that's kind of what you're working with, and big data is everywhere. And so that's the year you will take here at BI. You are going to be looking at how your programming and statistics leads to data management and machine learning, using the analytics to make business decisions, because it's data science for business. And that means that they're taking it from the context of how businesses use data and how they use machine learning to make better business decisions. Now in the BBA, that is an internationally recognized degree. So it gives you a competitive advantage that pretty much anywhere in the world will know what a BBA degree is. That is a huge advantage, having that on your degree, on your CV. And in that one, you're going to be working a little bit with looking at the operations, the financing, and the accounting and the marketing. You're getting a whole mix of it. But then, like I mentioned, you are having to choose a specialization when you come to study here at BI. And the three that we have, finance, international business, and shipping management, I will just kind of briefly touch on what the difference is between those. In the finance program, you're looking at the automation and digitization that is happening in the finance world right now. A lot of firms are now working solely with automation and digitization. So they need candidates that have that knowledge and that up-to-date knowledge about where the industry is going. In the international business track, you're looking at globalization. Everything we are doing right now is in a globalized world. And so that international business track is figuring out and teaching candidates how to operate. I mean, look what's happened in the pandemic here. Everything has turned to extremely digital environments. And so people that are learning how to now navigate the globalized world in a digital realm, they are having a competitive advantage. The final one there is shipping management. The transport sector makes up about 90% of the trade world. That is a huge percentage. And we have seen the effects of what happens when a transport sector kind of goes down. Supply chains are impacted. We've heard stories about grocery shelves not being stocked with certain items because the supply chain has failed. And due to the shipping management shipping industry has had some follies in the last couple of years. That ship was stuck in the canal, and that set back the entire shipping industry and supply chains across the world. We're still feeling it right We've heard rumors that electronic chips in electric cars or in all cars are actually not being able to be shipped to vehicle manufacturers. So people are not being able to buy new cars because they do not have the capacity to get the materials to elsewhere to have them built. So shipping is so important. And if that's something interesting to you, you might want to take a look at that. And then the standalone degree, I'll just mention again, the data science. Data is everywhere. That's what you need to know. How do businesses use data to make better decisions? While you're studying at RBS, you do have to have a minimum C average in order to qualify for the double degree program here at BI. It says on the screen you have to have an IELTS of 6.0, but that's most likely will be covered once you enter into RBS. So, but you do have to have an English portion to study here at BI. We do require a copy of your passport as well, and then there is a financial plan document which just basically outlines how you're going to finance your studies. The deadlines on the right-hand side, the most important one is the March 1st deadline to apply. And then the second most important one is the housing application deadline, because you do need housing, and it is way cheaper if you do get the housing through BI Norwegian Business School. Here's just a quick look at the tuition. That is with a 10% discount. So by coming from RBS into the program, you do get a 10% discount. So it's just under 8,000 euros per year for tuition. And we do budget, we estimate that international students will have to budget about 12,000 euros per year for living expenses to live here in Oslo. That includes your housing, your food, your entertainment, and your books. The students who are on the webinar with us right now who have experienced it will have better indication if that is an accurate amount, but that is what the average we've collected through previous international students have said that they can live off of here in Oslo. And finally, some practical information. You can work while you're here in Oslo, studying up to 20 hours per week. The application is free to apply, so there is no fee, and you will be covered by the Norwegian health insurance scheme while a full-time student. For some of you that have the European health card, you will need to have that as proof. For others, you will need travel insurance if you are not covered. You will not be covered outside of Norway, so you will need some travel insurance on your way to Norway here. But that's my time, and that's it for me. I'll stick around for some questions if you do have them. But please take advantage of the students who have experienced this already, the double degree program. Ask them the questions because they will have the best authentic voice of what their experience really was like. And they will have a different perspective than maybe the institution side that I am providing to you. But thanks, Paula and Claudio, for the time, and I will stick around.
Thank you, Matthew. I think it was very insightful. And as you said, I think it's the time to go to students who have experienced this double degree program or are experiencing it at the moment. So I think that I will give the word to you guys to introduce yourselves. And maybe you can just say your name, tell us when you did the double degree program, or if you're doing it now, maybe which specialization you're doing. And then maybe you can add, why do you think a double degree is a good idea? And maybe we can start with Anna, the most experienced one.
Yes, thank you. The most experienced one means also the oldest one, I assume. So, but nonetheless, yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Anna. I did the double degree program in 2015, 2016. So I graduated from both RBS and BI in 2016. And at that point in time, I chose to study shipping management. Right now, currently, I'm back in Latvia and working as a product development manager in a food manufacturing company.
Thank you, Anna. Daniel, how about you?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Daniels. Now I'm studying in France for a master's, and I finished studying at BI and RBS this year. I also chose previously unmentioned shipping management because I thought this would give us the competitive advantage specifically in this sphere in the market.
Thank you. Ansi.
Hi everyone. I'm currently studying at BI, doing my bachelor's in business administration and finance. Of course, people might find it hard. Yes, it is, but it's also really fun. But sometimes you just need to sit in the library a lot more than different students do, you know, like you see your regular bachelors going out, and then you know that you have like 5 more chapters to finish. So you just stick with the books, but also you have the free time off, of course, if you just do everything when it's said to do it. And yeah, I'll be finishing my bachelor's also like this year, and I can agree that the living expenses are almost on spot with the presentation. So that's the good part. And yeah,
The finance guy confirming numbers, that couldn't be more perfect. Actually, Ansis told me that he just had the finance exam before this call, and he told that he might be just like really tired, but we agreed that at least he will give the vibe, what it means to study finance in BI. So I think it's right there, talking about books in the first minute. That's perfect.
Was an easy exam?
No, it was not. It was tricky. I wrote down something on 6 pages. I think I did it correct, but I'll just see how it goes after the grades are out, because it was quite extensive. And then some things I was just looking at the exercises and thinking like, yeah, did I really read about this or something like that? And then after like 10 minutes of just looking at the exercise, you're like, all right, I'll try something else. Perhaps it works. And then the end.
Sophia, how about you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm pretty the same as Ansis. The only difference is that my specialization is international business. I'm also graduating next spring. This spring, 2022. And as I see it, why people should do actually, and if they have an opportunity to do the double degree, is that you actually get this new, fresh perspective of your own goals, of career, of society, and it actually helps you to develop your own skills much more faster, because you learn to adapt. And because first I was in RBS, then I'm here, and I understood that now I'm ready to adapt to any circumstances in any environment that I will be placed in. So it's actually really good, and for also critical thinking. Yeah. But about my specialization, I would confirm that it's not that probably hard as finance. Because yeah, sometimes I'm that person who is leaving the library quite early, because for me it's more about listening to the lectures and working with team. But I will agree with Matthew that it's really important, because the globalization is extreme, and we have to learn to adapt. We have to know how cultures influence on each other. We have to learn how the internationalization process works and everything like that. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty it for me.
Thank you, Sophia.
It's great that you touch upon globalization, though. I don't want to get into that because I will spend the whole evening talking about it. I saw Daniel's raise a hand. I'm not sure you did that in purpose.
Yeah, because I forgot to talk about why it's a good idea and everything, and then Ans started to remind me of how it was there, and then it reminded me of how it was. So yeah, I just wanted to touch a bit upon that also.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I think at least from my perspective, there are 2 sides of why it's a good idea to go for the double degree. And the first one being that it gives you an opportunity to specialize in a specific skill and a set that you might want to associate your future with, and learn it from new experienced professors at the best business schools previously mentioned in Norway. And the second side being that it gives you an opportunity to explore a new country and their traditions, which makes staying abroad more fun. and in that way also having the association and everything within the school. Like you can almost find anything that you want. And from the school side, yes, Hans mentioned, it's a bit different when you go there. Like for us, for me in RBS, I was like getting used to, like we had like different kind of sets that we had homework that we get like 10%, for example, of the final mark. But going there, you only had the lectures almost each day, and then in the end you have 100% of the mark in the final exam. So you're sitting there and thinking like, how should I approach this? What should I do? And then in the end you understand, yeah, what you have to do, and you have to study more on your own to understand all these things and get through it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Marina, how about you?
Yes, hi everyone. So yeah, I'm studying at BI right now, and my specialization is shipping management. And I would say that from my perspective, it's a bit different from what we studied at RBS, not only because of the method of learning, because as Daniel said, we have a lot, like mostly we have to listen to the lectures and read a lot because we don't have many group works or team works or something like that. We have like 100% for exams only. And I would say that also specialization itself is a bit different because like I didn't have any courses like connected to logistics or shipping at RBS, but here, yeah, it is. So if you're really interested in transport, logistics, and shipping management, then you should go here to Norway. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, actually, Matthew might know more, but I'm not sure you have many places in the world, at least not in Europe, where you can study shipping management. And certainly Norway is the ideal place, given that is one of the leading countries in the world in shipping. And so, but I'm not sure. I think it's quite exclusive.
Yeah, we have found that there isn't very many options out there for students to study this type of industry, shipping management. And like you mentioned, Norway is one of the leaders in the world about learning how to do it and making it all work. So that is a good point, that if you want to learn, go to the place where they know what they're kind of doing about shipping management. So good point, Claudio.
Thank you.
Very nice. Matthew was talking a little bit about how life is in Norway. So I want to ask you students and graduates, what do you think is like one best thing about living in Norway? Ansi, maybe let's start with you.
Yeah, like living in Norway in itself is really great because like the people are super friendly. So far, I haven't found them like really lovely people, always smiling and stuff. And even if people are saying that's a bad neighborhood, no, it's not. It's a really nice neighborhood. Perhaps there's someone who's a bit more off than the usual Norwegian citizen, but he doesn't seem too angry. He just seems that he wants to eat something or something like that. And yeah, from my side, it's wonderful here. And then also the activities going on. We had also with Sophia, we went to the Inspire project in the Oslo Business Forum. Well, we got the chance to help them in order to make the actual event happen. We had chances to meet a lot of highly ranked individuals that were invited to the actual event. And then also just network with the peers and just get a lot of contacts. So that's the side of outside of living in Norway as well, from the academic side of view. And then the sports and stuff, it's also highly, I think, developed there, because you can literally see, I don't know, 10, 20 people running every time you go outside. And you don't feel like you're alone if you want to run. You can just go outside running, and then there will be somebody running in either or direction, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm not the only one. Or the gyms, you can go to the gyms. We even have one at BI, Atletica. You don't even need to leave the actual university to go and work out, which is great. And also they have the student unions, like associations, as they call it, with running, bathing, which is like going to sauna and then jumping in cold water to refresh themselves. And like I think even handball, basketball, and you name it, tennis also even. Plus the prices, for example, for tennis courts are really affordable, even I think cheaper than in Latvia. So I found that as a high surprise.
Fantastic. May I do a question to Maria as the most senior?
Yeah.
So you out of all the students that have spoken today, you are the only one that came back to Latvia. So, I mean, of course, I don't know what Ansis and Sophia, Maureen, and Daniels will do, but they are still all around. And Roland and Ronald also is still there. So, but for you that came back to Latvia, and now in perspective, so what was in terms of your future career prospects, how the BI experience was an addition to, I mean, in terms of skills or knowledge, maybe even contacts?
Well, definitely the experience in BI as such is a unique one, both with regards to the cultural experience that you gain just living abroad, as well as the different settings in the school. And I also chose to learn shipping management just because Norway is, as you said, one of the leading places to do so, and just to mix up a little bit the whole set of skills and knowledge that I could have with the double degree program. And when I returned, well, actually, I didn't have a plan to try to live in Norway for a longer period of time. I always knew that I will come back, but there is definitely an advantage because of the experience that you have. I wouldn't say that maybe many workplaces will look up to you as, I don't know, star, because everything depends from person to person, and actually the knowledge that you have accumulated in the process. But it definitely is advantage because of the knowledge that you had experienced to really to learn. And well, I would say that well, I'm also one of the students that have continued with my master's degree here in RBS. So overall, I think that my choices were the right ones. I would clearly tell everyone else to go to experience BI, and then you have a broad perspective, either to continue your master's here in Riga, or just to, as Roland was studying his master's in Oslo. And well, it varies from person to person how you want to proceed with your career, with your, I don't know, family life and so on, but it definitely gives you much more options along the way. So well, I'm currently, really happy about my choices, both because of the experience, because of the knowledge, of course, also the contacts and so on. So I would say it's one of the best choices.
Thank you. And for those that are watching, so you can see in the career of the three young fellows that already has finished, Ronald, Daniels, and Anna Maria. So three completely different careers that they have continued, all of them very successful. One is staying in Norway in a huge bank and as a consultant strategy. Daniels is in France doing the master's. Anna Maria is feeding all of us for breakfast as a product manager. Is one of the most popular products produced in Latvia. And this is what this type of education really give you. They give you the expertise, but they give you the breadth. And then you can, after, have a lot of flexibility where you want to specialize, right?
Yeah, so maybe we could actually ask Daniels to tell us a little bit about how experience in BI helped you to make the decision to go pursue your master's in France.
Yeah. So studying abroad made me more independent in a way that you have to go there. You're in a different place. You're on your own at first. Different language, different school. Everything's new for you. So and also that it is completely different from the side that how the studying is there. So in a way, it changed me. That it was easier for me afterwards to perceive the information abroad because I could have used it afterwards to my advantage once I understood how to learn in a different school or different atmosphere. And it taught me that sometimes you need to be hard on yourself to achieve the things you want, as studying was quite harder, and also you get to experience everything around you changing in a way. And having this experience being abroad, of course, looks better on your CV and everywhere when you go to a different place. Because if you go also to a school, like I'm now abroad in different countries, they also want to see if you have some previous experience abroad. So also your English skills and the things that you're like doing besides school, like working, volunteering, and so on. So all these things make up for the fact that you are also getting somewhere else and wherever you want to be.
Fantastic, Daniel. And that's when you choose the place to study, you are not choosing only professors and books and specific subject. And this is something that everyone is highlighting, it's a whole package. So you are, from the gym and the water you can drink in the university, library and the student unions and the different cultural experiences with very serious study. And this is what all these universities really are up to, so it's really, this is the time in your life where your brain is fully ready to get the best, and then you need to use the brain at that moment. Right?
Yeah, of course. You do not choose your professors. You only take away the way you can perceive their information they're giving you from their life.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to ask the students who are currently at BI, because the moment when you had to choose if you're going is the closest for you. So was there something that seemed scary for you when you were making the decision to go? And how did you overcome this? How did you decide to go? Marina, maybe we can start with you.
Yeah, I would say that for me, the challenge was the COVID situation, because we had to apply till March, and the situation was pretty bad at that moment. And I was in contact with the guy who was studying here last year, and he said that everything is basically was closed, and they had to study almost whole year from home. But I don't know, like I still applied, and I was waiting till I get my exception. And at the moment when I get it, it was already better. And BI said that they're going to provide chance to study also on campus. And then I decided that I'm going because that was the only challenge that was stopping me from going here.
Thank you. Ansi, maybe something you want to add there.
Well, I'm the oldest one of the new bunch, let's put it that way, because I was the one that actually took the deferral option that BI said that we can apply and get this option. So for example, we had the COVID situation going on, and I thought to myself, if I'm going abroad, I would much rather like to experience the life as being a student, where I can go around, talk with people, join parties, create events, and do different stuff, rather than just wait and do nothing. So thank you for the option of taking the deferral. But from my side, the only part was that I would need to go somewhere where I have been before, but not really for so long. And then also trust myself of estimating the costs that are upcoming. For example, I knew that I'll need to pay a specific amount on living, specific amount on university, but then there was this variable cost floating around, food and other related matters. And I was like, yeah, of course, I can check it online and see it. But then it is just easier if you go there and look at it yourself to get the culture shock away, because it's not that different if you really think about it. Of course, you need to offset it by working, but that's also possible. And I think like for the new students that are thinking of actually going there, the biggest thing that I would be thinking about is just how are you going to write your bachelor thesis? But you have, I guess, presentations online and Zoom lectures upcoming. Perhaps they'll change it a bit or the schedule somehow. But yeah, that's the only thing that I was actually like more thinking, all right, I have to do it, but it will be online and I will need to communicate with a professor, but how I'm going to do it? Like, will I call them via Skype or via Zoom, Teams meetings, Discord channels, or something else? But it turned out to be quite okay.
Thank you, Ansi. And then Sophia, maybe tweaking this question a little bit for you, because for you it's like a double international experience, because Latvia was also an international experience for you. So maybe you can tell us a little bit, when did you decide that you want to like take your international experience even further? What was going on in your head, and how is this experience for you as this, you know, double international experience in a way?
Well, I personally remember that I had made a decision to apply to Norway. Like, just I was thinking about that in the beginning of the second year when we needed to take the specific course that BI were requiring, so we can get to the third year. But that was not so sure, because I think for me it is really important, this sense of community, and that I can find friends, that I can think about career, that about some associations, divisions, the student life. So that, I think, when I was actually thinking about going to Norway, I was really concerned about that, because the community size in BI and the community size in RBS was completely different in terms of size. In RBS, you knew a lot of people and you were kind of doing all the time everything together. You were meeting, you knew almost everyone. But here in Norway, you actually had to make that bigger initiative to contribute to the societies, to kind of find friends. But I think what I've been thinking about Norway and people here and about society is completely different what is actually happening here. Everyone is super friendly, as Ansis has said. And it's super easy to find friends, to find like-minded people. Everyone in BI is super motivated, and it's really nice to be here, because I think this difference between communities in RBS and BI is actually just broadening my experience and making me better. So yeah, I think that was a completely successful choice. So yeah.
Thank you, Sophie.
Wonderful.
Ansi, yeah, I see you want to contribute.
Yeah, one more thing. While Sophia was talking, I actually remembered one thing that I wanted to say, which is that going even quite back to the ways of teaching of RBS, how are we experiencing the lectures, and then also how it is done there, because some might find that the way of learning in Norway is not only a bit different, but a lot different. And that was something that I was like thinking, I was scratching my head, because I like, all right, I'll have 4 lectures a week, and then I guess I will need to read the book. But how long can I read the book? Because in RBS, I knew that, okay, I have the book, I have the presentations. I need to be at university at around 9 or 8:30 or something like that. And then I'm going away at, like, I don't know, it depends on a day, 16 or 17, or if you have been very challenged student that wants to take everything, then it's even later. but it depends on your course load. And in Norway, they have fewer lectures in person, but they have the asynchronous lectures and then also the book, which finance people love. we get back to the book quite often, like before the lectures and stuff. So I just wanted to address, if somebody's planning of doing finance in Norway with the Bachelor of Administration, then I strongly suggest them to read the book before the lectures, not after the lectures, and not like 1 minute before the lecture, but like on the previous day. So they can actually participate in the lecture. And it's also, as Sophia said, that people are motivated enough, and you'll find your study buddies quite easy, because the library is a nice place to be. And it's like, in a comparison to Latvia, Latvian universities, it would be like the new RTU building. 1 floor of it would be only library or something like that. And they even have it on 2 floors, I think. So it's quite a big space for it to study. So you don't need to worry about where you're going to study if you don't want to sit inside of your apartment.
I have the feeling that your apartment is part of the library at this moment, but
Probably saving money because you're living in library, right?
Actually, no, I spend more when I'm in the library because I always want to take a coffee or something, and then you can take quite a lot of coffees during your study hours while in the university. But it is different to study there than in an apartment or somewhere else. So yeah. And also all my friends just know that the finance people usually can be found in the library. Just if they can't call us or find us somewhere, they just go to a library and search for us. There's a high likelihood that we're going to be there somewhere.
It's a pretty picture of future for some people who are planning to do finance. Thank you, Antti. Thank you for highlighting those differences. I think that is important, and that just shows what you all have been saying, that you can develop very different skill sets when you combine RBS and BI. We're running out of time, so Claudia, maybe you would like to do the final question for everyone.
oh. Okay, final question. I haven't thought about that. So I was going to be the one choosing a final question. Okay, one inspirational note as a final note, for the young people that are watching now, that will be watching in the next days, something for them to take, after all this experience. And let's start with Matthew.
What they should take back from their experience?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think what's been touched on has been by the students, the fact that they're able to adapt to different situations is definitely one thing that they should take with them when they do finish a double degree. You're kind of being exposed to different environments, whether it be in the library studying on the top floor, or whether it be kind of making those other connections like Daniel's mentioned in the social clubs and stuff like that. So it's like, if you're kind of being exposed to those different things, you are having a different perspective that you may not have the opportunity to. So I think it's a plus for everybody. And whether or not this education gets you to where you need to go, or it helps you get to the next step, you become a better person, and I think a better global citizen when you have this perspective already under your belt.
Thank you, Matthew. Sophia.
I would say that you said something inspirational. So I was thinking that probably if you're afraid to go to BI, and if you're just afraid of anything like what will be happening here, with whom you're going to talk, how you're going to get work, how you're going to learn, I don't know, Norwegian or any other matters that concern you, you have to do it, because the more you're afraid, the more means you need it. Because I think, so if you're really afraid, just do it. You just have to press this apply, and that's it. And then you're not going to regret, because that's how I learned to live. I'm all the time afraid that something will happen, but now just do it. and then think what's going to happen. So it's actually easier to live like this. So just do what you're afraid of most of all. So yeah, I think that should be good for students who are considering to apply or not to apply due to some, I don't know, any concerns that they can have, because I mean, we are students, we overthink a lot. So yeah, we have to have this sometimes last push, which will make us to the full commitment. Yeah, that's it for me.
Sounds like a very nice proposal for a New Year resolution, as we are getting close to the end of 2021.
Yes, indeed.
Marina.
I could agree
Okay.
with Sophia, and I would say that each experience is good, even if you think that it will be a mistake, or at the end you will feel like it was a mistake, but still it was experience. And I believe that you can learn from every situation. But from my point of view, BI and RBS as such could never be a mistake. So yeah, I would really encourage to, if you have the opportunity to do it, then go forward with it and do it.
Fantastic. And you are the one that spent the most year between both institutions.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Marina, what's your?
Yes, so I would say that going to Norway is good not only because of your education or like career that you can pursue, but also about your personality. Because, well, at least for me, I feel that here I became a bit more communicative and confident, and I would say that everyone should actually try to go not exactly to Norway, but maybe some other international experiences. They actually like make you stronger, make you more confident. And I would say that that's a great thing to do.
And you know, it's a little bit of a cliche, but cliches sometimes.
They come from somewhere, right?
Yeah, they have some truths, but you are hired because of your credential, but you stay at job because of your personality. So the personality, your character will matter when you are in the job market. Okay. Thank you, Maria. Daniel, what's your? And you also have the Christmas suit already there. So that's
Yeah.
So give an inspirational gift to our audience.
Yeah, of course, getting ready for Christmas. But yeah, for a person that's still hesitant about the decision, I would just say, like, for them to go for it. You got nothing to lose and all to gain. And don't remember the cliche talk of when you're there, work hard, play hard, of course. And because you actually have to work hard, but you need a time off so you can also play hard. And I think that you definitely should join some associations or something in the school, because that's where I had my most fun times and I met most people there, because the options there you have are plentiful and you will find anything for you. So you can enjoy time there and also study.
Fantastic. Ansis, you are the last one with inspiration. Don't tell me that the library is the most inspirational part. Okay, freedom of speech, so you can say that.
Yeah, the library is the most inspiring, but no, don't worry about that. What I wanted to actually tell is that since we're studying business, like in RBS, and you guys helped us a lot, because so far everything that is business related is very clear for me. I have learned very, very solid groundworks and even advanced techniques from RBS. But what you need else, just beside the theoretical view and the applications on the practice, is network. And BI is a wonderful place where you can just broaden your network, because there's quite a lot of students here. And if you actually talk with them, and if you're extrovert like me, then you can get a lot of networks, like you network a lot real fast and meet a lot of people around the university. Just go to different unions or associations and just see and talk with the people, become friends with them, perhaps even, or just try to make your own startup or something like that. And that is the thing that I tell everyone to try when you're at BI, to just network around and just do it, because you won't be able to do it afterwards when you're older. where while you're studying, you can meet a lot of people and take it onwards in your life. Of course, congratulations, Paula, for getting in. But yeah, I just think that networking is one of the most important.
Fantastic. I say we can stop there. Thank you, Hansi. I think it was a good.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for finding time to share your experiences. And for those who are listening, thank you for spending this way more than an hour with us. We always plan an hour, but we always go over because I think those stories, they're just so interesting to hear and also so inspirational. And I can just agree to everything that has been said. I think it's a wonderful experience to have this international exposure, to understand the world better, to understand yourself better through this experience. So if you have any questions about RBS programs, about this double degree program, just feel free to reach out. You can find our contacts all over RBS channels. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Good luck to students.
Bye.